You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $10 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for True Dash, who says, rant about my 3x3s. I really hope this hasn't gone out of fashion yet. Either way, I have two 3x3s, one for series and one for movies. What can you say about my tastes? What would you say I value in a show? Also, what would you recommend to me based on my 3x3s? My 3x3s are ordered top left to bottom right. Alright, let's see what we got here. We have Hunter x Hunter. Mob Psycho 100, JoJo Part 4, Hajime no Ippo, Blood Blockade Battlefront Haikyuu, Lupin the Third, Part 4, Ghost in the Shell is a standalone complex, and Black Lagoon. Alright, well, first and most obviously, big action fan, clearly. We've got tons of shows which are, I mean, like your top four basically, are very well known for their extremely hype fight scenes. I mean, Blood Blockade Battlefront has crazy action animation as well. Haikyuu also has, like, the sports are hype in the exact same way as battles are hype in these other shows. You know, but really the most interesting part to me is this bottom bar, because, like, these shows up here, these are all just, like, good shonen, you know? Hunter x Hunter, I mean, it's extremely experimental and different from most shonen, but the ultimate core appeal of it is not that distinct from, you know, a typical shonen anime. Same goes for JoJo, you know, it's very fucking out there and weird in the way that it presents those ideas, but, like, you watch the show for hype fucking fights and memorable characters. Hajime no Ippo, same difference. And Mob Psycho, really the same difference as well, except that the main character is just so well developed. Because it's not purely a shonen action series, I feel like it does things a little bit differently. Really, I mean, all of these are different. You know, they're all pretty unique for shonen, but the core appeal of them is pretty similar to shonen. Oh, and Haikyuu obviously counts in this as well. I really don't know enough about, like, what people really like about Kekai Sensen to really speak on it that much. But then we've got these three shows. And while, like, Black Lagoon is also kind of about memorable characters and badass fights, it's a lot more adult than these ones. And granted, these are shows that, for shonen, do speak on more interesting, character psychology, I guess, than a lot of others do. And it's not like Black Lagoon is super deep, but, I have to imagine that the appeal of it is not that dissimilar from these. Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, though, I mean, that's just like a heady sci-fi show with lots of fucking boring dialogue scenes, so I can't imagine that it's the same as the rest of these. I think your reason for liking this one is probably more unique. But then you've got Lupin Part 4, and that's particularly surprising. But what kind of clues me in is that this image is so different from all the other choices. It's like main characters, main character, main character, main character, main character, main characters, main character, main character. But then we've got Lupin, and I mean, like, you could argue these are the main characters of Part 4, though Rebecca is not really around as much. But it seems like it's this couple, their interaction, something about the nature of this relationship, or maybe even just this character and what she does to Lupin in the show. Because, like, it just, you've got all these up close, in your face, like, bam, this is the guy. And then you've got this pulled back, like, screen cap. Like, some of these are not even, like, screen caps from the show. These are just, like, character artwork, like, promotional stuff you would find. I mean, maybe you literally just Googled all these shows and this happened to come up, but I don't know. There's something so particular about this image that I feel like it must have more of a personal kind of attachment to those characters than what's going on. Or not even that more personal attachment to the characters than these ones, but that, like, these shows, you love these characters because they do awesome hype things and they have great development. These characters do not develop. These characters don't really have hype, crazy action moments. They just have chemistry. And, I mean, maybe it's the chemistry of these two guys from Haikyuu and these two from Hunter x Hunter that also attracted you to those characters. But this image says to me that the unique chemistry of these two characters is probably what you liked about that show. But I could be wrong. Let me know how you actually feel. Moving into the movies, we continue the trend of badass, over-the-top action. We've got Redline. This is Looks like one of the Lupin movies, right? Yeah, Lupin, Jigen's Gravestone, and the other entries in the Takeshi Koike film series. Maybe it's just that you love Takeshi Koike's art. Maybe that's all it really is. Because, I mean, right here, the top two are both Takeshi Koike things, followed immediately by two films from, oh god, Ninja Scroll. Yoshiaki Kawajiri. Who also does badass, fucking, very unique, like, all these have very unique, stylish artwork and are in service of delivering badass fucking action, you know? Akira, you could largely say similar things about, though action is not the forefront of it or anything. I mean, the storyline and just the epic set pieces of this are more interesting. But Sword of the Stranger is clearly a big action movie, and Wicked City is is that Yoshiaki Kawajiri as well, or is that Rintaro? Let's go look it up real quick. I think it's Kawajiri, right? Blah, blah, no. Wait, yes, okay, yeah, it was the directorial debut of Kawajiri. So yeah, big fan of Kawajiri and Takeshi Koike's art style, clearly. But this is another list that has standouts. I mean, Perfect Blue, a psychological thriller, interesting characters and storyline. I don't see as much through line of it with the other things, other than that, they're all good. But Grave of the Fireflies in particular, I mean, I don't know if it was just the emotional impact, if you love the themes, or just how beautiful the film is, but like seeing that as the only Ghibli film in a list that is mostly populated by like intense action and crazy art styles is definitely fascinating. So I would be curious to know what about this movie made it your favorite, because it is clearly distinctive from the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, this seems like the taste of a person who really likes to see, like, cool, memorable characters in cool, memorable art styles doing cool, memorable scenes, particularly fights. I forgot to do the recommendations there. I recommend that you check out basically anything that like Madhouse did in the 80s, like, check out Rintaro's movies, check out other people who are associated with Yoshiaki Kawajiri, other films by Katsuhiro Otomo. I mean, if you haven't seen this stuff already, but like Madhouse in the 80s and 90s, made a ton of these crazy, stylish action films with crazy set pieces and unique visuals. I guess just any like action show with a stylish visual that I've recommended before would be worth checking out.